to me. Baby, your kiss is all I need. Come on. Ooh, it feels so good, baby. Oh. Ooh, babe, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. I miss it already, girl. I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. I miss it already, babe. I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. Oh, baby, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me.
You sure looking good tonight, baby. I just wanna make sweet love to you tonight, baby.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. Travel his shit is down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. On a hump day Wednesday. It is Wednesday. And I woke up to news alerts.
I woke up to news alerts talking about a story. First of all, let me back up. Let me do this because I said I was going to tell my own story. So let's back up. Wake up Chicago, wake up world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Obviously, this is going to be a serious show today. As happy and as chipper as I tend to be, this will be a pretty serious show today. For a couple reasons. And I will hope that my openness and transparency over the years, I actually feel like this story is going to tell the transparency of my openness over the last, since you've known me in this space, because it's pretty funny that this story tracks a different timeline. But I do want to make sure that you tune in at 8 o'clock. Because at 7 o'clock, we got Dr. Willie Wilson coming in the studio today. So I got questions. I see you, Jamal Green. You better enjoy Miami. Jamal Green cracking jokes talking about can he get a loan. Hey, homie. I really want to break this down. And it's like I kind of wish Dr. Wilson wasn't coming in today. Just because I would really love to spend like the whole show on this topic. I really would, because I feel like it is the epitome of everything that I have talked about in this game of politics and business and just everything that I've talked about in the timeline that it tracks. And in case you don't know, the Better Government Association did a quote-unquote investigation. I don't know if I feel like they did a Christopher Columbus, right? Like they presented what I already told you. And then on top of it, like, so I feel like I got niggerized today. I really do. And then I'm really just, as much as I love the What's in It for the Black People brand, I think if you're going to splash me all over as a lobbyist, then put me in my lobbyist clothes. Right? Don't, and I'm not, no shade at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's the complete, and so I refuse to talk to them because I said I don't need to tell my story to you when I have my own platform. So if you want a response, you can get it today at 8 o'clock. I'd also like to, and it might change today, but I would like to also thank like the black community for not taking that story yesterday and just splashing it and trying to run up their views. And I think you'll have the opportunity, and I'm happy to take questions, the whole thing. It's like, because really the only people I feel like I answer to is my community and my people and my family. But I'm not going to just sit back. Like I told you, the challenge a lot of times has been for black folks is when something happens, we have no defense. We have nowhere to go. We have nobody who will listen or tell our story for us. And so you get to read a headline like that and be like, oh, I knew that, right? But the other dangerous part of that is when they write stories like that and they splash them, they draw attention and they use it to attack your livelihood and your income. So I will be fully discussing the BGA article because I honestly feel like I'm proud of the work that I did there. Like 100% proud of what we were able to accomplish at Atrium Village. But I also want to point out the timing of all of this. What did I tell y'all what happened at the second that there was the amassing or the potential for black people to come together in power, that the attacks would start? that, and I told you yesterday when I first saw it, hell hath no fury like a white woman scorned. But there are two white women driving this story. And it's like the peculiar position because you're not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to say that, right? Because they kind of in a protected class. And, you know, like if you're yourself against women, then y'all know how that kind of works out, right? For the black man. But if you have been with me on this journey, then there are going to be moments, because we talked about this. Remember the people with the T-shirts? Remember when we talked about housing and how our housing was being, there was a war for control of the housing and affordable marketplaces that was happening, and it had left the South Side and went to the North Side. I was telling you about how I learned about the people in the T-shirts, how they would dress black people up in T-shirts by colors and load them up on buses and take them to protest, but they were really being fed lunch and being paid by white people who were controlling the housing industry. This is all an extension of that, right? And it's an extension of it combined with the fact that I don't know that you all remember me telling you about the white woman who was doing the PR for the Black Caucus. And I told you how I remember, and I did a whole show about it, and I was offended because I was like, that's an opportunity for a young black person to develop their business and build their brand. And, you know, she ran up on me at Soho House and was like, I'm da-da-da, and who dare you, and how? And then had black people calling, and it's kind of crazy because, you know, when you go to her profile picture, she's hiding behind the shield of one of our dead comrades. So while you profile picturing one of the brothers that would have been sharing in my struggle as a lobbyist, you are feeding these stories trying to niggerize me. And I'm going to say it. And it's like, and the white privilege that white liberal women feel that they have in directing black people, and how dare this Negro push back and not bow down. And so I'm going to tell you, I mean, and it's like I don't want to share the story because I don't want to lead it. So I'm going to talk you through it. I'll read you through it. I'm going to show you the pictures. If you've been on this, you'll know a lot of these things will be familiar. If you haven't been with me, then it will make sense from the standpoint of when you look at the article and when you look at what they wrote as compared to what actually happened. It's just, so I feel away this morning. And then the challenge becomes, then they try to force you to give up your income, right? So they try to either starve you out or play you out, if that makes sense. So they try to put you in a no-win situation. And I refuse. I have refused to lay down since I have refused to lay down. And I think the hope of people is that, I'm going to be like, I'm going to hide and I'm going to run. And I'm not running. I'm just not talking to them. Right? And it's like, you want the story, tune in today. I will tell you and we will break it down. Because again, to splash a headline like that without doing the math, of course somebody will say $417,000. Yeah, fam, that's over 7 years. That's 50. Do you understand that I get paid half of what my counterparts get paid to do more work? Right? It's almost criminal. Joe, they put in this article that me and Alderman Burnett bonded over the fact that we were felons. That's what so me and him got together and was like, oh, you do crime? I do crime. Let's do some crime. Huh? Like I feel like I've told y'all the story. Like, man, I was in college. I got in trouble. I probably didn't tell you I was making, I can go get the article during the time that this happened. That's when I jagged $1 million. They tell the story like, bro, it's 2000. He paid him $28,000 over 15 years. And 2 months after, Alderman Burnett wrote him a check for $200. Because when he found out I had become a lobbyist, he was like, no, you can't pay for dinner. Here's the rebate for your money. The other 20, remember I told you I ran his campaign and his wife's campaign? That was in 2001 and 2002. It's crazy to me to read this article and be like, this can actually be published like this, and they just get to get away with it. That they just get to get away with it. Hold on one second. Hey, Riis, take a quick break. This is Willie Wilson. What's up, Dr. Wilson?
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Up in the morning with the frown on my face, cause I know it's another day that I gotta face. Smile for people I don't wanna see, working at a job that I don't wanna be, breaking my back to the bone with nothing to show. But I got dreams and goals, but as soon as I clock in, I'm ready to go. So there's one thing I gotta know: why money ain't free? Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? Give it to me. I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money?
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I think I'm a little out of breath. I ran down the steps and ran up the steps because we have a special guest in the building. I'm going to bring him in a little bit early. So, though, I do want to make sure y'all are clear. It's kind of the reason I'm going to, people say, Maze, you tell too much, you share too much. But I feel like I always try to share so that you understand perspective. But I feel like also even in this, I'm like, I feel like you, I feel like I did my thing. I did the right thing. Like, we got literally 20% of housing on site. And it's just crazy to watch how I got what I, again, will call niggerized by the BGA. And so I'm going to actually even answer the questions that they may have asked. But I just want to make sure that we all are tuned in at 8 o'clock. And for Joanna and Leah, I want y'all to also understand that this is part of a bigger plan, right? Overall, I told you that they're going to wind up trying to attack me. And it's really a setup to then allow them to go after my wife. Right? And I feel like you gotta, it's like, I get it. So I promise you I'm not upset. Like, I'm not hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is the game. I practice Black Ops. But I feel like the difference here is, Joanna, Leah, I'm not going to not talk about it. It's like you're not going to get to hide your hand. I'm going to tell you, Miss Klonsky, Miss Levenger, it's like I'm not going to smile and dance when it ain't no music. I'm not going to yield control of my community to you because you have relationships and can take these things and try and spend them. $417,000. Hey, y'all, over 7 years, that's $50,000. I get paid less than half of what my people that represent the work that I do. Plus, Black people working. Plus, not just in the construction space, but in the professional service space, which is where I dwell. So we're going to talk about it. It's like I have nothing to hide. So I just want to make sure we're clear about that, right? But I do want to thank y'all for not yesterday. I know it's the haters that want to always be like, aha, see, it was nothing to see. It's like anyway, we're going to talk about it all in a little bit. Let me do this. Let me get these headlines because I got a special guest down in the hallway, and since we got him for an hour, I want to if I get an extra little time, I'm going to go ahead and take it because, you know, I got the 8 o'clock expose. I'm going to expose myself for y'all. And I hope that they all listen. But then I want y'all to make sure y'all know Joanna and Leah and all these little people, these white women that purport to be our friends and allies, but really, and I got to tell you, it bothers me that she gets to use a dead Black person, a dead Black man that was all of our colleague as a shield. It bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis, the ruler. Riis, I didn't even say what's up to you, man. How you feeling today, dog?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest. How you doing today?
Hey, man. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling like I can't be. I felt like I really wish y'all would just let me. If they would have used a suit at least, I would have been okay. I would have been just a little bit better. But then when they did the hood, it was like they blackened me up, and I just feel like, right. So if you're gonna splash me in Cranes magazine, right? If you're gonna put my picture in all of those places, and you're not putting it in there as Mr. What's in it for the Black people, you putting it in there as a lobbyist. Could you at least not make me be splashed across the country in a hoodie with my COVID-19 mustache? Right? Like, for real? So the business and that's okay.
Told you that's what I want to know. I told you when they found the worst pictures of Black people and put them on there. The worst ones, man.
All right. Riis, so actually we can't even take off. So look, we ain't gonna take off because we got a special guest in, so we're gonna bring him in before we take off. But in the meantime, let me run through a couple of these headlines, and then we are gonna be talking to our special guest who got here a little early. Riis, $286 million. This is what I'm talking about. $286 million was bet on March Madness in Illinois alone, Riis. That's over $250 million in 2 weeks. 10 white companies. 10. Riis, we got none. And guess how many white boys was in the finals? See? Exactly my point. So they betting on Black bodies. We get no money from the gaming. Riis. Okay.
That's why college actually they want to get paid now.
They better get paid stupid. But I'm just saying that wealth is legislated. They passed a law that made that legal. How did we not get any? No black lobbyists. Okay. White Sox home opener, Riis. White Sox doing their thug thistle yesterday. Hey, man, Ed Howard, straight up, go on White Sox. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jackie Robinson, come on, man. I'm feeling that.
They did their thing, man. You know what? Like I started to say, I'm always a Chicago fan. I don't know why people don't go to the Sox games, though. It, like, be so empty there.
It's okay. I was with one of the owners of the Cubs. He's like, you want to go to the Cubs game? I was like, not really.
Yeah, you did. Hey, ain't never been to one?
Yeah. I mean, cool now. I'm going to Jackie Robinson Day.
Okay. That's a good day to go then.
Oh, no. Jackie Robinson Day usually is a good day until some drunk, ignorant Negro always say something stupid to my wife, and I'll be like, for real, dog, like I'm standing right here. I'm standing right here. Right? And it's like, again, it's okay, though. I'm not tripping. I'm going. I'm definitely going. Have y'all heard about this push for 1.5 million police interactions? Riis, I do not want the police to have any... if I don't have to have any contact with the police, I don't want any. I don't want them to pull me over to say, hey, your stoplight is broken, because they're going to pull me over and say, I smell weed. And I remember that thing you showed me, man.
Yeah, you see, I tagged you in that, which is against the law and been against the law. And I listened to that. I was like, my man just said he's been to court where that's the reason why they stopped him, and that's been illegal for a whole year.
I know.
So the courts really let that was an illegal process.
I'm telling you, every time I stop, and they changed it to burnt cannabis. So I know I wasn't crazy, because it was in the law, burnt cannabis too. The smell of former burnt cannabis. Anyway, that's crazy. I told you I'm going to tell my own story at 8 o'clock. And speaking of telling his own story, you see your boy, he just won't shut up, dog. Juicy Smouye got a new song. Did you get it? Did you go find it?
No, I'm going to go.
You go find Juicy Smouye's new song, because he got a song about him being innocent now. And then also, Danny Solis is due in court today. Look, y'all, they're going to talk about his plea deal. Look, like, we're going to talk about that in a little bit more. But I think I'm going to bring our special guest in early. So, Riis, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up the blue screen or the black screen. We're going to go get our guests, and we're going to get them in here, and we're going to start this conversation a little bit early. All right? It is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. And then we're going to bring Dr. I was going to say Dr. Wilson. Then I was trying to play it off like I didn't have a special guest. That's why I did that. So we'll be right back after these messages. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop, located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion has to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:41 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. We head over to sports MLB. The Chicago Cubs down in Pittsburgh taking on the Pirates. Suzuki 2 solo home runs will be enough as they beat the Pirates 2-1. A baseball back on the south side as the White Sox have a home opener taking on the Seattle Mariners. The game pretty close, but the Sox with a big fly from Luis Robert in the sixth would be enough as they would take the lead 3-2. The Sox win 3-2. Head over to the Kennedy. Head to the Loop will be 24 minutes. Outbound will be 19 on the Edens. Deerfield to the Exchange, 31 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 27. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 33 minutes. 28 minutes back out to Thorndale. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 42 minutes. 32 minutes outbound. On the Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan would be 34 minutes. 26 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 17 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive South, 55th to Jackson will be 8 minutes. Jackson to 55th will also be 8 minutes. On the north side, Randolph to Bryn Mawr and Bryn Mawr to Randolph will also be 8 minutes. Today's weather, it is currently 64 and partly cloudy. Today will be a high of 68 with a low of 45. Expect rain throughout the day. I'm Riis the Ruler. Now back to the Mace Jackson Show.
Glory to Gethsemane, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord.
You are listening to the Mace Jackson Show. I am your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. And y'all know how we do at 6:30. 6:30, we welcome the Saints from WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, the Saints get here at 6:30, and they stick with us from 6:30 to 8 o'clock every day. Now, that's the Saints, but you know the Sinners. Sinners got to get here at 6 o'clock. They got to stay till 9 because, you know, we get it in. Now, if you're one of the Saints and you tune in to us on WBGX 1570 AM, Big Gospel Express, you can give us a call at 872-259-7474, 6:30 to 8. Now, you sinners, y'all know y'all got to get here early and y'all got to stay here late. You can catch us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Okay, y'all. He done got in here a little early. I was, you know, Dr. Wilson. So Saints, if y'all out there listening, y'all tune in. We gonna let you gonna talk to the people too.
Yeah.
Look, we're gonna open up the phone lines if y'all want to talk to Dr. Wilson. If y'all want to give him some words of encouragement, you know what I'm saying. I want you to feel free to give him a call because he is a friend of the station. But he is here today to talk about this mayoral run. Now Dr. Wilson's gonna be here with us until 8 o'clock today. So I want to welcome you to the building, Dr. Wilson, and why don't you say good morning to the people? How you feeling this morning?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. Morning to the audience. Morning to you. We've been campaigning out here the last few days since I made the announcement, and we've been up 16 hours days, and look like gonna be that way until the next till we win this thing in next 10 months.
Now, Dr. Wilson, you done started already, though. I mean, what is going on? What has made y'all jump in the race? It seems like it's so early. We got a governor's race. Everybody's still confused about what they're going to do for the governor's race and what's going on there. Why are you getting in the race so early, Doc?
Well, I'm not really necessarily. I'm going to put a few spots up to make sure people know that I'm running, those who may not know.
Okay.
But we have 7-7 community, and we started with our town hall meeting.
Okay.
And we'll be getting to all the town hall committees.
In all 77 communities?
I believe we're going to make big. If it don't be 7-7, it'll be 76.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that, Dr. Wilson. So, and I'm gonna talk about this first. And since you came a little early, I am gonna talk about it. Because see, here's the thing. I think, Dr. Wilson, I think a lot of times when you get on the media and you're in media, sometimes they ask you distracting questions, right? Questions that don't have to do with the mayor's race. Mm-hmm. So since I got you a little early, I'm gonna do those questions early. And then we're gonna talk hardcore about the mayor's race, because I'm gonna ask some policy questions from 7 to 8. But I want to just, Dr. Wilson, should I start calling you Steve Austin? You know who Steve Austin was?
Who was that?
That was the Bionic Man.
Okay, all right.
The $6 million man. Remember him?
That was Lee Majors.
Lee Majors. He was Steve Austin on the show, and he was the Bionic Man.
Okay.
Dr. Wilson, and you, the $6 million man plus $5 million in your campaign account. You just gave away $1 million for worth of gas, but before you gave away the first $1 million, you gave away $250,000.
Yeah,
that's six. Then I was watching the press conference. I'm not gonna say that I wasn't gonna say I was offended that I didn't get invited to the press conference.
You know, you always got open invitation.
Okay, so you know what, Dr. Wilson? I said, we was talking about it on the show, and I said, now I've been to Dr. Wilson's crib, and Dr. Wilson got a crib, yo. He got a crib, like, you can see the whole city around the joint. You know, you turn off the lights, you can see the Ferris wheel going around, all that stuff. See the lake. You can probably see Michigan from Dr. Wilson's crib, because he lived where the rich white people live. No shade. Dr. Wilson, I gotta ask, did you make the white boys take their shoes off when they came in your house? Like, I really felt like you should have told them cameramen, hey, take your shoes off in your house. You want this news? Take your shoes off in my house. Did you make them take the shoes off, Dr. Wilson?
No, I didn't make them do like they made me do when I was down south. So I let them came on in.
So, Dr. Wilson, you know what? That's something that I really never did get into. Talk to me about, because I was listening to you say you worked until you were 13 for no pay.
Mm-hmm.
I often feel like, and I'm a little concerned, somewhere in our universe that history, as we become our bourgeois elite selves, that we may have, either we have forgotten that history, or it's starting to wane. Talk to me about your early childhood, and like I don't know that I can really imagine what it was like to be a sharecropper. I mean, you hear the stories, but like, what was that experience? And tell me just a little bit about that.
Well, we was born in Gilbert, Louisiana, and by the way, I just came from down there last week.
Okay.
And I did a video of the cemetery where it's that they had the fence separate black and white, and I showed it on my Willie Wilson Facebook, and it's still there now. White on one side, black on one side. Still today.
Really?
Just that last week. You can check my Facebook, you'll see it.
It's still split. It's still still now.
Split.
And you were born. So you was in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, man? I ain't gonna even lie to you. Louisiana is one of them places that really it really kind of, I don't want to say it scares me, but I feel a certain way when I'm in Louisiana. I feel like it ain't like I don't want to drive nowhere in the nighttime in Louisiana. I feel like the presence of our ancestors and all of that stuff is just still hanging around. I don't know.
No, it's there. Now, when I was born in 1948, June the 16th, we didn't have any doctors down there or nothing. Mama had me. In less than 1 hour after she had me, she wrapped me up in a dress sack, cotton-like, and put me on the back of the sack and she had to go back in the field and work 1 hour after she had me. And we were drug on the sack of the cotton. Well, we picked cotton, mother, and that's what it was. And we never did. From that day on, we worked 13 years without pay. Now, my mother and father worked without pay, too. So everybody just picked cotton. They said, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars, but every year, we would always get further and further in debt, all right? We did like 72 to 75 bales of hay of cotton a year. And so when we came up, 13 years, I ran away from home at 13. And we made 20 cents per hour down in Thibodaux, Louisiana, picking butter beans and tomatoes. But for 13 years, zero. Right? And so I've been working ever since. So it's nothing for me to work today because it's much easier today doing what I'm doing now versus picking cotton.
So, Doc, so you run away. Where you go?
Well, we Thibodaux, Louisiana, and then we left from there and went to Delray Beach, Florida.
Okay.
We picked tomatoes and butter beans.
Okay.
And we got into slavery down there.
Slavery?
Worked 3 months down there.
Wait, back up.
Huh?
Tell me about the slavery thing. Yeah, I got to understand that.
We ran with home.
Okay.
A bus came and picked up 39 of us, black kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was 13. We got a place called Delray Beach, Florida.
Okay.
All right. They put us on there picking tomatoes and butter beans. And for 3 months, we didn't get paid. And so we asked them, said, well, when are we going to get paid? They said, well, you guys already got paid. We said, what you want? They said, well, you ate food for 3 months, and you ate up your pay in food. And that's what they say. So we ran away from there. And so when we ran away from there, we had a young man ran to a place called Mexico, Florida.
Okay.
In Mexico, Florida, he came back, and we slipped out at 12 o'clock at night. Somebody told the police. They got dogs and stuff like that. We was able to hop over some swamp land and got away. And we ran, I think we must have ran about 5 or 6 miles to catch another bus and got to Mexico, Florida, and worked there for 3 or 4 days. And then we left from there. We went to Miami. We washed dish on 39th and Collin Avenue, Junior Restaurant. And that's how we did that.
So Dr. Wilson, you get to Chicago. When do you make it to Chicago?
I'm in Chicago in 1965. Right?
And what was cracking during that 1965?
Well,
what was it? How does a young Willie Wilson who has been all around trying to find a place get to Chicago? And you got to give me just a smidgen of the rags to riches. Well, I got to understand that part.
Yeah, well, we got Chicago. A second cousin of ours dropped me off at the bus station. I had 25 or 30 cents in my pocket. And then he left me there. I had an auntie here. I called my auntie. She just happened to be at home that day. And she came down and picked me up, got a job the next day, and worked for 25th and Ruby Avenue, Melrose Park, a piano factory. We did piecework.
Okay.
Right? And we done that for 9 months, and I quit the job. And after I quit that job and went home, my auntie said, why did you quit the job before you got another job? I said, I just didn't like it. 9 months was enough. And so my auntie said, well, you got to leave here. So I had to leave her house, and I got a little 1-bedroom on 18 and Harding on the west side of Chicago.
Dang, that's where Big Swill lived on 18th. Big Swill, you heard that? 18th and Harding.
Yeah, 18 Harding. We went there. We, painted rooms and houses. But the only thing we did had a lot of work, but they wouldn't pay us.
What is with this no pay stuff?
Well, I don't know, but we trusted people up north like we trust people in Louisiana, and we didn't pay it. So we left from 18 Harding, and we left from there and went right on Madison Street, that big old hotel called Hammond Hotel. We stayed right there, Madison and Hammond Street. And we stayed there and got a job working at a tire factory. Eventually, we moved from there to East Chicago Heights. They call Ford Heights. Now, work out there and went to work at a McDonald's, mop floors, and, you know, here's where I am today. Ray Kroc gave me an opportunity there. And so we got a job there, and we was going to quit. Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, asked me, and the guy I worked for, can I take the run the place? So we ran it from there, and here I am today.
Man. So, Dr. Wilson, you bring up McDonald's, and I'm going to go ahead and hit it because I know somebody going to ask me. Dr. Wilson, there was a challenge with McDonald's a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit last year. And some of our brothers and sisters were hot to trot on the tail of the CEO of McDonald's. And I think when you got involved, as Dr. Wilson, you got a tremendous amount of sway over black folks. And so understanding that, some people say you took the air out of the balloon and derailed the negotiations. How do you respond to that?
Well, look, I told the story was that how McDonald's been good to me.
Okay.
The money I've been able to give away all through the years was as a result of McDonald's.
Okay.
Yeah, people on the street, give them money, paying people taxes, getting people out of jail. They expanded with me not only in the United States, but also expanded with me all over in Australia, Dubai, Israel.
Okay.
All these places. And so the CEO said that he made a mistake, and he apologized. And I figured like this here. If you apologize for something, you have to give you the opportunity to prove yourself that you're going to be good on your word.
Okay.
All right? And so, for what I'm concerned, if it had not been for McDonald's, ain't no way I can be giving these millions and millions of dollars away to our community. Now, they got a lot of improvement to do. We know that. And so I was telling a story about myself and told the people they deserve another opportunity to help get it right.
Okay.
And that's basically what's it. And, they've been good to me. And they still do business with me.
Okay. What kind of business?
Medical supply. We do the disposable gloves.
Okay.
Yeah, and garbage can line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, man, you do. Hey, man, I used to work at McDonald's. And so I know them garbage can lines. I remember when the box came. And, So, Dr. Wilson, I think that one of the challenges that a lot of times we have is that sometimes there's more than one story, right?
Yeah,
and so there's one story that we choose to decide we want to deal with, and there's other. Now, as a person who recognizes that those stories become opportunities for us to maybe shake the tree a little bit more, I think we just got to be in coordination on that. I'm going to get the challenging questions out that, like the people that out in the universe. I got two that I want to ask you off bat. Dr. Wilson, you're running again for mayor. A lot of the younger activists would like to see you become a kingmaker as compared to being the king. Talk to me about how do you respond to that?
Well, I think everybody have a right to live their own life like they want to live it.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel that everybody should have a dream, admiration. Everybody should reach their goals, right? Everybody should do what's fulfilling to them. And nobody else should be allowed to get in that space.
Okay.
All right? Because you're the one that paid the dues. You're the one that sweat out there. You got more people to deal with and take care of. You have your vision. Now, it doesn't mean your vision is always right according to society. But in my opinion, it's right according to the inner me.
Right. Hey, man, one of the things that you said that I really admire, you said quite a few things that I admire, I ain't gonna lie, but is that I'm tired of white people telling me what to do with my life. I want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
But what I do want to do is I want to take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break.
You got me.
And then we got Dr. Wilson to 8 o'clock. I'm gonna also open up the phone lines. So if you all want to talk to Dr. Wilson, right? A lot of times we don't get to have the two-way dialogue. So I got some questions, but since we got some bonus time, I'm going to also open up the phone lines. So give us a call, 872-259-7474. If you want to talk to Dr. Wilson, he is running for mayor of the city of Chicago. Hey, y'all, he just let me see the commercial. Dr. Wilson ain't playing with y'all. Dr. Wilson, I got to ask you, man. Now, I saw you on TV the last couple days, right? Hey man, I see you spend no expense. Who was rocking you? Doc, you had the fresh makeup on, and I no shade. Like you was Doc, when you made your announcement, I was looking like, dang, look at my joint in HD. Who hooked you? You was hooked up, Doc. Like you did the whole thing. You was the whole shebang. So let me tell y'all what, when we come back, we gonna find out who is Dr. Wilson's. And he kind of fresh today, y'all. Y'all see, he got. I bet that's cashmere too. Look, Dr. Wilson in here with cashmere and linen on a Wednesday. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages with Dr. Willie Wilson. He's running for mayor of the city of Chicago.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
What's up, Chicago? This is your man, Maze Jackson, host of the Maze Jackson Show. You hear me every single day ask the question, what's in it for the black people? Well, finally, y'all, we've got an answer, and it's called the Black People First Party. Meet us every second Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth, Unit 17E. That's in the mall at the 55th and the Dan Ryan. And you join us every second Saturday of the month, where we are taking our politics black. We'll teach you everything you need to know about the game, from how to collect a petition, to how to knock on a door, to even how to become the next mayor of the city of Chicago. That's right, y'all. It is the Black People First Party. Meet us every second Saturday of the month, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth in the mall at 55th and the Dan Ryan. And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. This is a black people thing you wouldn't even understand.
Maze Jackson.
I'm so glad that the Lord keeps on blessing. Y'all, I must say, every day He's making a way. Ooh, keep on blessing me. Blessed in the city, blessed in the field, even when you come and go. I'm so glad that the Lord keeps on blessing me. Y'all, I must say, in spite of, He just keeps on. Yeah, keep on blessing me. Oh, keep on blessing me, blessing me, blessing me. In spite of me, He keeps on blessing me, blessing me. I don't deserve it. He keeps on blessing me, blessing me. All the time, He keeps on blessing me, blessing me. Lord, we need you. Lord, we need you. Lord, we need you. Can't make it unless you. We need you to stop it. Come on and stop it. Do it every day, every hour. Come on and do it. Do it for us now. Somebody in a hospital, somebody down, don't feel too well, but bless us now. In the name of Jesus. Oh, please keep on blessing. That's what Grandmama said. Please. Oh, please. Yeah. Oh, please. Jesus, thou son of David, keep on blessing me. Have mercy, oh God. Please don't ever stop. Please don't ever stop. When I'm disobedient, please don't ever stop. When I go against your will, please don't ever stop. When I turn away side, please don't ever stop. Oh, please, Lord, please don't ever stop.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Mays and Riis, Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect, you oppress us all.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I am your host, Mays Jackson, and in the building. Hey, y'all. He said he ain't trying to be no king maker. He trying to be the king. In the building, sitting in with us is Steve Austin, a.k.a. the $6 million man. And actually, after I get through having this little bit of fun, I'm going to move into a serious interview. All right. Riis, you got to wake up the lions. We're going to put Dr. Wilson in the lion's den because I feel like he like Daniel. Right? He's going to be walking around by the time it's over. He's going to be petting the lions. But Dr. Wilson, you got to be in the lion's den. Riis, you got my lions? Wake them up. There they go. You hear them, doctor?
Yeah, we ready?
Hey, man. You know how King Nebuchadnezzar was like, get in the den, lion. Get in there. Then you know he was trying to put the people in the fire, and he looked and they said there's 4 people walking around in there.
Hey, tell you, they were us walking around there.
Yeah, right. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. All right. Yeah, and then he did that. Nebuchadnezzar was a tricky dude.
Yeah, when you read your Bible.
Yeah, man, he was a tricky dude. He tried to throw Daniel in the lion's den. Riis, I don't know if they wake them lions up. Wake them up. Let me hear them. All right. We gotta get Dr. Wilson. You seem like you got the faith of God. You don't seem like you shaking too much. All right, y'all. It is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. In the building, right here in the Lion's Den, is the Reverend Doctor. Let me give it. Dr. Reverend Willie Wilson. He is our candidate for mayor again, running. Dr. Wilson, third time the charm. What's up?
Well, I'm here. We're gonna win this race. We're gonna win it for the people. I don't know nothing that I want personally out of this race but to help the people. Making sure that all citizens have their opportunity, equal opportunity with the education system, contract, job, and I got to say empowerment. That's the big concern of mine, the empowerment of the community. Some communities get up higher and road, construction, garbage can, all that stuff, contracts and things of that nature. But there are certain communities left out, the black and brown community left out. You got to help all people make it sure it's fair, and I think that'll keep down a lot of violence and stuff like that if you could bring them community up apart, you know.
Now, Dr. Wilson, I heard you do it. I heard you say it. You know you at with the media. What's in it for the black people media? I noticed you said black and brown. Now, I noticed that right now there's a competition for resources in the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
And it seems as though the Latinos are winning in that competition. How do you, as a black mayor, and I hear you say black and brown, you know that make my skin crawl, because the Latinos, Chewy, when he come talk to us, he be talking about black and brown. When he go to the Latinos, he be talking about Latino. He be like, hey, Lucy. Talk to me. Well, how do you justify that, and how do you rationalize that with black people that are being literally run out of this city, that were actually under attack physically during the pandemic?
You know what? A lot of times, to be honest with you, I'm not perfect, but I do try to live according to scriptures the best that I can.
Okay.
Now, I'm a shortfall too, but when we was down south in the field, Brother Mays, was that we'd be picking cotton, chopping cotton, 20 or 50 different families out there, and then the white man be up at somebody's house having a baby with their wife, right? I was still able to forgive and not hate, right? So we went through all of it. I've seen it all. I've been on the other side of the street. We've been spit at. We've been throwing bottles at. We ran. We've been told what to do all our life down south. Mm. And I still came out without being bitter. And because I still help white, brown, black, because the scripture tells us we got to forgive and forget. So I tried my best to do that. But I also tried my best to make sure that we got equality and equal opportunity and imperative, but we don't leave somebody out. I think the city should do their job. The contract should reflect the population of the whole city of Chicago, all citizens. And I strive on that. And I tell you that little story about that. I have a lot of white friends, a lot of black friends, and from distant Latino friends as well. And there have been times that I've learned too, but I try not to learn it to continue the hate.
So I don't know that it has to be hate, Dr. Wilson, as much as it is as we fight or compete for resources.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, let's compete, and then once we win, then we can be nice and pass it back out. But I think that we oftentimes, and Dr. Wilson, one of the things I heard is that we do have this forgiving and this, I think our spiritual connection oftentimes puts us at a disadvantage politically, because we operate from the love all and do unto others as the Lord, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And they do, I'm going to do unto you before you do it to me.
But see, the ultimate common denomination is eternal life.
Uh-oh. But what about right here on earth?
But
see, that's my thing is
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay,
I'm gonna get to that. Like I came up poor now, all right? My coming up poor taught me to give now, and I've been giving all my life. When we didn't have, I still was giving. But my balance in life, the foundation is church, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And we came up from nothing to where we at today financially. We were able to help a lot of people. So the only thing I got to go on is just my personal experience. It's been working for me, And so I think that I believe a lot of times it's a lack of all of it getting together and communication together.
Okay.
I really truly believe that. Now I know it's racist discrimination on white part and black part and Latino part, and then I know that, right? But I found too is that communication more if you get the opportunity, but if you give first and show kindness first, that person cannot continue to dislike you.
You know what, Dr. Wilson? I ain't gonna lie. I seen you work that number, right? I done seen you work that number because you done converted me, right? Because I used to give you the business, and now I used to give you the business, and now I got but you have never, even when I cook you, you have always been like an honorable, respectful man, and it's weird to me because Dr. Wilson, let me ask you a question. When did it all change for you? And I'm gonna ask you, when did it all change for you in politics? Because I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Back in 2009, I had never heard of you. Right?
I remember.
And I was the field director for Pat Quinn, and we had to go to this church. And we got the governor of the state of Illinois, and he is literally waiting 2 hours to meet this man. Now, during this time, I'm like, I got the governor of the state of Illinois. Y'all telling me we got to wait 2 hours to meet this man, and a black man in a church, a preacher? Now, y'all know how I felt, right? Y'all know how I felt. And I watched as Pat Quinn literally bowed down and kissed your ring. And I won't say literally, but he pretty much did. And I had not seen them show that much deference to a black man politically. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I learned to really dislike liberal, progressive candidates on the Pat Quinn campaign because they was the main, like, they treated me worse than people who would just straight up be like, you ninja, right? Like, I'd rather be in that space than with the people that's nice, nasty, but feel like they doing you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Wilson, I remember seeing you, and during that era, if you came into space, every Democrat was running to you because they was asking you for a check. They was asking for political contributions. Mm-hmm. They'd be like, Dr. Wilson. And then it seemed like all of a sudden the black politicians was in this like love-hate thing with you where it was kind of like they want to hug you, but this, like, they know what you do for the community, but they also scared to be cool with you because it might offend the white people. Help me understand, when did you change from Dr. Willie Wilson that the Democrats, everybody was waiting in line to see, to Willie Wilson where they treat you like, and excuse my language, but like a side chick? And I know the feeling, because whenever anybody in trouble, they Mays Jackson, don't please, right? But any other time, they kind of like, well, talk to me about that.
Well, first of all, you got to realize this right here. Look, my first thought, my DNA is being a Christian. My DNA.
Right? Is being what now? I'm sorry?
Being a Christian.
Okay.
Right. So I try to make sure I live the best I can to the Bible. Most people don't read their scripture, and I read mine every night for the last 50 years before I go to bed. Most people are always like Nicodemus, come by night. Right. And you got to put that in mind. If they come by night, you got to think about, everybody going to come by night. If they did it to Jesus, they're going to come by night on me. Right? So I give to Democrat, I give to Republican, I give to Libertarian, I give to anybody who I think gonna make a case that they're gonna be fair to everybody. Doesn't matter the labor, right? I give. If you convince me that you care about the people, and even though you may lie, once you get in there, you change your word. Mm-hmm. But the thing that everybody has to worry about, understand, is that from a spiritual standpoint of view, how many times we do wrong to who we worship, Jesus Christ, but he still wake us up in the morning and give us food to eat. So we forget about that. And how many times do we dislike somebody that we found out that 20 years later that we was wrong? But it didn't come overnight. It came over a long time experience. Like people today dislike me when I give like some people, when I gave a $1.2 million away, I still got fools out here criticizing. But they don't realize that 6 months ago, down in New Orleans, Hurricane Ida, I took and gave $1 million all the way down there.
How do you respond to people who say you should have bought a gas station?
Well, I think they should use their own money and buy their own gas station.
All right, look. I know, Riis, we got people on the phone line. All right, now let me say this, right? I'm gonna open up the phone line. Hold on, I'm gonna open them up, Doc. I understand people have questions. Hold on. Let me do this because I'm gonna ask you to respect the show, and I think a lot of times what I want to make sure is that this doesn't turn into a 5-minute question, fam. Like that takes the air out of the conversation, right? And I'm happy to arrange. Dr. Wilson, are you willing to sit down with black folks? Would you be willing? Actually, let me back up. I got another thing. Okay. Dr. Wilson, what does it take to get the Willie Wilson Orchestra to do something, to perform?
My orchestra?
Huh?
What
would it take to get the Willie Wilson Orchestra to perform at a small event for a group of black influencers?
Just give me the date. I'll give you I'll come.
All right. Look, we gonna do a Will. No, you laughing at me. How much space do you need, Dr. Wilson?
I mean, look. We go to places today and speaking in front of performing in front of 5,000. We also
this is not gonna be 5,000. This is gonna be a small group.
I'm going there. We also speak with 10 people.
Okay, so there it is. Look, y'all, we getting ready. I'm sorry I had to do that. Dr. Wilson, we getting Dr. Wilson to perform at the Obsidian, right? At the Black Social Club, right? At the Black Social Club with black influencers, etc. We gonna make that happen. Now, let me say this, fam. I'm going to open up the lines. I'm gonna tell y'all to respect Dr. Wilson on my lines. I'm gonna also say you're more than welcome to ask your question. But if your question goes longer than 2 minutes, right? If your question goes longer than 2 minutes, fam, you gotta call in. I'm trying to do the show. If your question goes longer than 2 minutes, I'm gonna ask you to stop. Right? 2 minutes. This conversation. Open up the lines. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Shalom.
What's up? That is Israel. What's up, Israel? How you feeling, man?
I'm gonna respect the show. I got first I want to ask Willie Wilson. Do you remember working with one of my homies named Big Otis? His name was Big Otis. He passed away now. They say he used to work with Willie Wilson when he first started at McDonald's. And then I want to ask him, can we schedule a meeting to reschedule that McDonald's situation? Because I'm being told that Willie Wilson and Mother Wade sold out the black communities for McDonald's. I don't mean no harm, no disrespect, but they gave checks to those false prophets and preachers. I'm hanging up and listen. Shalom.
Thanks, Israel. Dr. Wilson, I thought I tried to answer that before, but go ahead. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think that everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I respect it. My answer that I always explain to people who've been good and nice to me. McDonald's been nice to me, and as a result of that, we're giving millions and millions of dollars a year to people sleeping down on Wacker Drive and on the Viaduct. Thousands of churches, senior citizens. Every 4 months, we give people $25 a piece by 12 or 15,000 because they live about $3 a week for food. We help pay people's property taxes. All those things we help do. And I just simply put it out there, and McDonald's helped me expand it international, worldwide, matter of fact. So the dollars that I get, I get them from McDonald's, my other customer too, and we give 100% of every penny my family and I make. We give it away to the community, 100%. Okay. All right? And then so I think that everybody have a right to say what they need to say. I I don't sell out to anybody. I certainly can pay my own rent and I buy my own food. But I tell you what, to be honest with you, sometimes my black community is worse on me than the white man. And so I mean, we being real about it, you know. Look, I'm poor. If you poor, I'm poor. If you middle class, I'm middle class. If you wealthy, I'm wealthy. If you're Latino white, I'm Latino white. Because we're all human beings. And so I do my best that I can do, but I always put my community and always will put it first.
Okay, I'll take that. Here's the next one. Not the call. I'm about to ask a question. So, Dr. Wilson, you have been with John Catanzara, who is really not a well-liked person on our side of town. Your stance with the Fraternal Order of Police, how do you rationalize that with black folks who have seen or have heard at a minimum dog whistles, at a maximum where we feel it may often be outright blatant racism? How do you jibe your relationship with a person like that?
I know John. I know him real well. And I would say this much, out of all respect, the guy been nice in terms of respect, but to myself and the numbers of different ministers that we sit down with him. My getting to try to know him and getting to know him better than what I just saw on TV, right, has result in terms of saying, look, make sure that you have, in my opinion, black policemen in the rank, being treated fair in the union, making sure to come up with some contracting job, whatever control you may have over it. You know, we have those type of dialogue. It ain't nothing like wanting something for myself, all right? But unless you open up the dialogue to talk, you won't get anywhere, you know? So, I mean, it's the same way like now. So a lot of people don't like Willie Wilson because of what? Why? All the stuff that we do. And refuse sometimes to talk, but I still give, and I still help. So my idea in him is trying to, if he in a situation of influence, economically speaking, I want to get it for our people as well.
So it's interesting that you say that. I was watching Andrew Young. Ambassador Andrew Young on Meet the Press, and he said that he said that oftentimes when they were forced to go into towns and negotiate, they would be negotiating with racists all the time, and they would use all type of colorful language and be like, ninja this and blah, blah, blah. And by maintaining his cool, after they got through that was the only thing they had, and then they could get to a rational discussion. I would say this. I would say that we always have to have somebody that can reach to the other side and call. If you got a hostage, it's like we don't get down with Russia. But there got to be somebody who can call Vladimir, well, maybe not now, but call Russia and say, unless you're in a state of war, and even during a state of war, they're still checking in, talking, etc. So I think that's part of one of the things I always try to talk to us about, being strategic. All right, I'm going to open up the lines. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show. What's up, caller?
How are you? Greetings.
Hey, Mama D, how you doing?
I'm good. What happened to kidnap descendants of slaves coming in chains did not happen to the immigrants who came from countries by choice. These people of color do not qualify for reparations. My question is, Mayor Lightfoot gutted the reparations bill and did not include it in the budget. But the idea of giving $500 to 5,000 people came from the reparations committee. What do you think about that?
Thanks, Mama D. Reparations committee, Dr. Wilson.
Well, I play a major part, I believe, in reparation. We spent a lot of money. We did TV commercial. I took a lot of heat from the far left wing of some of the white, you know. I took a lot of heat from a lot of the black too, you know. But I kept it on TV. I probably for a year or two. My advertising spot. I pulled together the black aldermen, the Latino aldermen, but they only had one black alderman came, and all the Latino, I must say, out of all of them, 95% of them came. And we started talking, but we couldn't get the other side to come. But what happened was that I was able to get that, we were able to get that thing down to city council, and I paid my lawyer, I think it was $10,000 for that bill. The mayor stopped it and killed it, as far as I'm concerned. And I really believe in reparation, because I think that's how we can get ahead more with the infrastructure for our kids and our future and economic and things of that nature. Contract, $500 for 5,000 people. I get that way. I'll get that way tomorrow as a senior citizen. Way more than that. You know, that's just the thing. We must realize that we shouldn't sell ourselves out. And when 5,000 people, what about the rest of the citizens in Chicago? I'd like to see get that $500 back, or some look, give us reparation. This $500 going, but put the infrastructure in place to help our community what it needs to be done. But she playing the game with it, in my opinion. Too many people have died for that.
So, back up. I just want to just refresh your memory on the history of this reparations thing. Back when we were at the other station, I don't know if you remember, but Dr. Wilson teamed up with NYGGERIZED, which was probably the longest standing reparations organization in the country, and worked with them to advance their agenda, not to direct the agenda. Because I remember being like, "Oh, you just trying to do the reparations because you trying to run for something." He was like, "Nah, really, I'm letting them do it. I'm just giving them the economics to be able to do it." So, I do think you have put your money where your mouth is. In that case, Dr. Wilson, let's go to the phone lines. I'm gonna take your call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning,
this is
Devo.
Devin Gordine, Black People's First Party.
What's up, Devo?
Hey, thank you, Dr. Wilson, for coming in and speaking with us. My questions is really not a question, but can you just give some insight on the following platform: education reform, the reduction of taxes for the Chicago citizens, and what is your policy on public safety and increasing the safety on the Chicago Transit Authority? Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Okay. I put a statement out last week, is that we should have on guard on the CTA and buses to protect our citizens from getting raped, robbed, et cetera, et cetera. I put it out. It's a tough area, and so I think to go back and put those things in place. And I know the city would probably say they need to find the resources, but they find resources for everything else. If they wanted to find the resources, they should have put some black in the marijuana thing business and took some of that money, that tax money they did, and put that in there to protect its people. So that's my stand on that. I support, and when I become mayor, we'll put them back up there, until things cool down or whatever it takes. But you got to protect its citizen. Now on the tax situation, my stand on tax situation is that when taxes are high, you run citizens out of Chicago. We lost a lot of the black population in Chicago. And you lost a lot of business in Chicago. People go over in Hammond, Indiana and get gas. They go and they shop. The politicians think in order to solve a problem is to raise taxes. I said, no. In order to solve your problem, you got to balance your budget and cut out the fat and bid these contracts out and making sure that put inclusion into all this citizen. Taxes, I hate taxes. I pay a lot of taxes. And it goes, in my opinion, it goes for other things besides just the community. They use those tax dollars to put in place to help benefit their own re-election. the taxpayers' dollars. I don't support these high taxes and running people out of the city. I can afford to pay taxes, but if you can't afford to pay taxes, that means I cannot afford to pay taxes because it's a problem.
Let me stop you right there. Dr. Wilson, what is your responsibility as a black multi-millionaire to the black community? What do you feel like your personal responsibility is?
In making sure that the well-being of the African American community have a better life than I had coming up, and better opportunity than their parents. Education, economic, keeping the crime down. That's why I give 100% of my money away. All right, and I think got to put. People say, well, you should put your money over here, put your money over there. And my always response is, well, don't tell me what to do with my money, because I work for my money. I got the right to do what I want to do with it. You spend your money, what you want to do with it.
Okay,
right?
I heard that. Right. There it is. All right, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Let's go to the live line. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show.
What's up, Maze? How you doing? Tyrone Muhammad.
Tyrone Muhammad is our brother from ECCSC. What's up, my dog?
All right, man. I just commend you. Thank you for having Dr. Wilson on. And before I even ask my question, I'll make my statement. I want to state to the world and the public that I respect this man. I don't have no issue with him as a man, and I believe that Dr. Wilson as a man represents one of the most upright individuals in this city. My issue has always been that Dr. Wilson give out too many fish without ever teaching the people how to properly fish. That has always, I don't care if Dr. Wilson take his money, stack it to the Sears Tower, and burn it all up. Because essentially that's what he's doing anyway. Because you can't take it with you. So I don't care about no money where Dr. Wilson is going. All of us are going there. And all my own issue has ever been was, we out here on the front line. Dr. Wilson talk about his money, what he do. He always mentioning this money, this money, this money. Dr. Wilson, we out here every day, and guys like me and other organizations putting our life on the line, man. And stopping carjacking, stopping murders, stopping doing stuff like that, working with these young folks, giving them behavior modification, putting systems in place to change their thinking and thoughts around violating and destroying our community. So when you say you give out money, that's because you have it. You have it to give. I'm telling you, I don't see no case where Dr. Wilson can show me, and you can, I'm sure you're going to say you did this and did that. But I'm only saying, Dr. Wilson, that you talk about cannabis. Ain't no one been on the front line more than Tyrone Muhammad and ECCSC and fighting for equity and inclusion in the space of cannabis, and I've never seen you support us one time. From legislation to the dispensaries to the streets. It seems like if you got an issue in the ear with somebody and what they say, you take it personal. And I as it relates to McDonald's, I would never back and support McDonald's that has taken and stolen all the franchises back from black McDonald's owners and operators. And it's very few, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm not ever going to accept that, and we're going to come at that CEO every chance we get to get his act together. And they can't put gatekeepers in our elder statements in front of us to protect them from the issues and the violations that they have caused to our community. It's too much to unfold and unload in this quick little session. We got to have a meeting, man, to talk about how you can best serve or better serve our community, sir, because you are elder. If you don't pass the torch and you don't make it better for these shorties by creating economic opportunities for them, and us establishing businesses, I don't know what we gonna do. And as the last thing, man.
Come on,
as far as these one more.
Come on, man.
As far as these gas stations are concerned, bro, you just made Abs $1.52 million richer on some gas stations that they don't give 10% of their wealth that you just created back to our community, man. They don't give that to our community. And plus, I just think you could have opened up 4 or 5 gas stations, and then, you know, we could have lowered the price on the gas at the stations that you own and do employment opportunity. I'm going back.
We got to make time. We got to make time multimillionaire, right? Because then we can help them. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you talk, Dr. Wilson, because that wasn't my question.
Well, look, I'm not gonna pretty much answer that. Just like I say, no white man don't tell me what to do with my money. No black person gonna tell me what to do with my money. Also.
Uh-oh. And
that's I think all I got to say.
That okay? And I'm gonna let that ride right there. Like I'm gonna let that ride right there. And can I say this though? Here's the thing, and this is the thing. Whoever was with me in Springfield last week, we chopping. I don't know what's going on with the audio. It's going in and out. So hello, can you hear me? All right. So I was in Springfield, and I was telling you that last week that when the Latinos got in the room, what they understood was somebody is approaching it this way, somebody is approaching it this way, and somebody is approaching it this way. I don't know that Dr. Wilson, and I'm not going to answer the whole thing for you. The part that I was reset it because it's clicking, it's cracking. I don't know what that is. So I don't know, Dr. Wilson, that Testing. We're back. So, Dr. Wilson, I don't know that when we're dealing with, I lost my whole train of thought on that. So I don't think that you having a relationship with McDonald's means that the fight doesn't stop. I feel like the key is, that you and Ty can talk, and if Ty is still attacking, it's like you don't undermine his credibility. You be like, them brothers got a real issue. Now look, you and me know each other, and me and him know each other. Now, maybe there's somewhere in this space that we can come together and reach a compromise. But I don't want y'all to think that because I think, Dr. Wilson, the fact of the matter is you have a tremendous amount of influence. And the fact that you have a tremendous amount of influence combined with the fact that you have a tremendous amount of money oftentimes makes people feel like when you say something, you might be able to drown their message out. And I think that we got to be able to get our weight up. And I think at the end of the day, I'm not going to let that go. I'm going to let you talk. Go ahead.
Well, you know, everybody has their own opinion, and everybody has a right to their own opinion. I have my own opinion, and I have a right for my own opinion as well. You know, the dollars that I work for is my hard labor and suffer for it, and I make the decision to do what I need to do because I work hard for it. And one thing I always tell everybody, you know, stay out of my business, mind your own business.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna let that be. On that note, Dr. Wilson, do you have a policy team? Who is going to help guide the policies that you create? And let me just ask this. Let me add that to first 100 days. What does Willie Wilson do in the first 100 days as mayor of Chicago?
Well, we got to deal with the crime situation. You know, you got a lot of officers. You got to put in, like, in my opinion, you put in 4 superintendent of police, split the city up 4 segment, and those 4 superintendent of police hold them accountable. All right, and then making sure that the community reflect police officer from those particular community. You got to make sure, again, I just think that the economic got to come in there too to get the crime down. I think we got to focus on the empowerment. And I say empowerment because of the fact that if you can create empowerment, and then you can put the contract that you have with the city of Chicago, like these major corporations get all this business from out of state, interstate, whatever, but the small businesses doesn't get a chance to get them contracts because they say they ain't qualified, they don't have the money. You got to create rent out here so they can start those business, and you got to create trade within the trade school. So when they do those things, then you give a contract from the city to those individuals that live in the neighborhood.
You said schools. You mentioned schools right there. Talk to me about the schools in Chicago. It seems to be 1 in 4 black kids goes to an underperforming school. 1 in 3 Latinos and 1 in 10 white go to an underperforming school. Dr. Wilson, talk to me about how you would fix the schools as they exist right now. Like what needs to happen?
I think one thing need to happen is that we need to get parents and communication to the parent, communicate with the school teacher, the principal, and come together with solution. Now, one person can't fix this city. I'll admit to that. Ain't no one person can fix the city for millions and millions of people because you got different personality, different side of the city, going through different property and things of that nature. You got all these issues. If you don't open up the ways of communication, you can't get there. If you don't put the economic in place, you can't get there. You got to make sure that how can a kid, and particularly in this case, the African American community, study and get their homework out when they're going to bed at night hungry, all right? How can a school teacher keep putting the money out of their pocket, all right, and giving it to kids to trying to get books? I believe school teachers are underpaid. I truly do. Because they educate our kids. I think they're overpaid. I'm underpaid. I'm sorry. I think they're underpaid. I think our police environment is underpaid. You know, these people put their lives online. I think we got to create the atmosphere. They're better for them in terms of economic. I think we got to treat the economic just like we did COVID-19. COVID-19, they found the money for that. They find the money for, look like find the money right now for the Ukraine. Last year, you spent something like, I don't know what it is now, $100 billion for illegal immigrant.
Let me stop you right there. We at the Black People First Party, one of our foundational questions is, do you support the right of undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections?
No. You got to be a citizen of the United States.
So they've advocated to remove citizenship requirements in the city of Chicago. Do you agree with that?
No, I'm hearing you right. You're saying that illegal immigrant should have a right to vote in the city of Chicago. If I'm hearing you right.
It's already a law in New York. You live in New York for 30 days, no matter where you come from. No passport, no documentation, no citizenship test. You can vote. They are proposing that to come to Chicago. I believe that this next election, this next cycle, the Democrats will propose that it's actually part of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, that in municipal elections that they would be able to vote, not at the national, but like for mayor. Imagine you have to now, and that's part of the big fight over the remap right now. So let me start right there and say, would you support the right of undocumented immigrants, as you call them illegal, the right to vote in local elections, not national, but local elections?
Well, first of all, Brother May, is that we as black people got a problem voting in roadblocks. We need to get that squared away first, all right? I don't see it that way. I have to hear some of the other side, the pros and cons on that. But if you got a problem with African-American people going to the poll voting, all right, how can you let someone else come in 30 days, don't live in the city or anything like that, to take them vote? I don't see it yet. Maybe something I'm missing. That's about much I can comment on until I have to look into it and find out some more things.
Well,
but,
you need to. I'm gonna send you. This is too funny because it's like it seems like it would be common sense, right? Common sense ain't too common right now.
Right. To me, that ain't adding up now. Like I said, unless there's another side that somebody can come and tell me. But when you got African American been here all their life and having a problem to vote, then to me it's not there. I guess I have to sit and listen to the other side and see what's what. But right now, from my understanding, it doesn't seem to be practiced.
Dr. Wilson, do you believe that Mayor Lightfoot should have the right, with everything that we know, with going into an election, do you think that she should have the right to pick where the casino goes, or should that decision be delayed until after the election?
I think it should be laid after the election. I think the other thing you got to look at in this whole situation is that the casinos coming to Chicago now. Nobody have to talk about who getting the contracts. Yeah, who getting the contract? Who getting the ownership? You know, we got to make that reflect Chicago. We gotta come up with solutions and make that possible. I would not support something that doesn't include all the citizens of Chicago. You know, ownership from A to Z. All right. Contract from A to Z to try to balance this whole thing out for all citizens. I think it's been too much one-sided, all right? Okay. But I think it should be after the election, where she would not be back in it again.
So, Dr. Wilson, let me back up, because let me back up and go to this question first. We've heard this question about you teaching people, giving people fish, but not teaching them to fish. Have you ever supported black business? Have you helped create any business people or entrepreneurs in your space?
We'll help a lot of entrepreneurs in terms of as related to getting into business, training, trading, stuff like that.
Okay.
Small businesses and also franchisees.
Okay.
In terms of McDonald's, that is as well. Other business out here, we're given the funds, was supported through some of the dollars and everything, right?
Okay.
I don't tell nobody how to run their business, because if there's a business that I don't know nothing about, haven't been into, we don't do that. We will give the fund sometime to them, and we don't broadcast it out loud. The only way people know what I give is because I got in politics.
Okay.
That's the only way, because all these years we've been giving hundreds of millions of dollars away. All these years, nobody knew about it until I got in politics.
Okay.
All right.
But and that would go to the other question where people say, do you do all of this giving because you're trying to get votes? How do you respond to people who say, man, you just gave away that $6 million you gave away that gas just so people would vote for you?
Well, I think that those people who probably got a mental problem, be honest with you, I think they're mentally ill, and I don't mind saying that clear out, okay? Because the fact of it is that, go back and look at my record. 1996, front page, Wall Street Journal. I was giving away money there. That was 1996, all right? Hurricane Ida, $6 million in New Orleans. Katrina, $1 million down there, all right? Katrina. California, Texas, Washington, New York, all these places I go, all right, and donate dollars. Now, I can't run for mayor in all of those particular cities, all right? And even here, we went to the black community, the white community, the Latino community, Asian community, Filipino community. We put 50 service stations. We couldn't find but one black-owned service station owner, and that was in Phoenix. All right? Okay. And we went there, all right? Okay. But we gave it to rich, poor, in between, with no condition. I didn't know that the tax is so high, you know? And I know in the world, when people come to me and say that, help me get some money to get to work or get my kid to daycare, all right? My record speaks for itself, all right? I didn't use taxpayer dollars, right?
I'm going to stop you right there. The phone lines are lit up. I got 7 callers. Caller, I'm not going to, you cannot do the, we're going to start calling at the Tyrone Muhammad, right? I need you to ask a question. You got an opportunity to talk to Dr. Willie Wilson. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What you got? You talking to Dr. Wilson.
Good morning, my son.
Good morning.
Good morning, my son.
Good morning, Sister Zakia. How you feeling?
I'm doing so fine. Listen, I just want to thank you for having God's man on the show this morning. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you as a young leader up and coming, talking to another leader, talking to God's man. I just got 4 quick questions.
There ain't 4 quick ones. Go ahead, Sister Zakia. 4? Go ahead. Come on. I don't know if he going to get all 4, but go ahead.
No, this is action. You know, I'm about action now. This is action.
Go ahead.
Dr. Willie Wilson, how are you this morning, my brother? You know, this your homegirl from Lake Providence, Louisiana.
Good, fine. How you doing?
I'm okay. I want to know, is my political action membership card still valid from the last time we had them? That's number 1. Number 2, I need a couple of yard signs and some literature and stuff. And number 3, when and where will the political action meetings be held?
Okay, is that it?
This is action stuff here from your supporters.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it for right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Wilson.
Okay.
Okay, I started about.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. The political action that we set up, we couldn't get enough support out the ground to make it worthwhile for right now, so we put that on hold for a little bit right now as it stands. The yard sign, we just made the announcement last week. We will have some yard sign made here in the very near future. I'm trying to make sure that we get past June.
Right. You can't. Right. You have people confused.
Right. And so we're not on the ballot coming up this June. You know. So after that, we'll get busy. I think the mayoral election is about maybe another 10 months from now. At that time there. So after June, you'll see signs up, and we can get you one there. And then my office, what we want to do there is we'll put them out around the city and figure out where they're going to take them be at a later date. And the same token is that I won't spend what you call a lot of money on office space because I've still got my obligation to my my senior citizen, my charity, things of that nature as well, to make sure that they're taken care of too. So I try to use my decision when I make sure nothing stops me from giving it away to the citizen.
Okay, cool. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show? Let's do them quick, Dr. Wilson, if we can. Come on, caller. Hello, caller.
Gregory.
Hey, Gregory. Hey, Gregory. Go ahead, Greg.
Yes,
What's
I'm
up, man?
here. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, I want to talk about Dr. Willie Wilson's philanthropy.
You got a question,
Jones.
bro? Come on.
That's somebody. Okay. Well, that was going to be my question.
What is it?
It's about his philanthropy. Years ago, when Dr. Willie Wilson had the McDonald's on Roosevelt, and someone personally I know he helped, and and they worked for him, and he brought them along the way. Her name was Joan, and she had a daughter named Laura.
What's the question, brother? What's the question?
Well, that really wasn't a question. It was just something about him, himself, about being a stand-up guy.
I appreciate that. Thank you,
but
caller.
That's all I had to say.
Thank you so much. Caller, we got a question for Dr. Willie Wilson. It's the Maze Jackson Show. What you got for me? Ask the question.
Yeah, this is Ray. Yeah, good morning, Willie Wilson. I text you every now and then, give you suggestions and advice or questions. But the question is this: when you give away gas and things, why can't you have the people register to vote? Because we find out a lot of people that you gave away gas and taxes to weren't registered to vote. And the other thing is, would you entertain having black people not paying taxes during your term as part of reparation?
Thank you.
We give out money for people. That's got nothing to do with political or voting or anything like that. we don't ask people to vote for us because of what we do in terms of finance and things of that nature. Gasoline, it was just something that it was a need to do. But we would never ask anybody to vote for us because of something that we do.
Okay. Carly, on the Mace Jackson show. Wait, Dr. Wilson, would you ban black people for paying taxes during your term as part of reparations?
Well, we had to get it passed first. I had to pay taxes. Everybody pay taxes. That'd be a hard one to do. We got to put this situation in place on a reparation and make sure it's in a different way, but everybody have to pay the tax out. Everybody have to pay.
There you go. All right, it's the Mace Jackson show. Carly, on the Mace Jackson show. You got a question for Dr. Wilson? Keep it up, because I got to do the Mace Jackson hour. What's up, Carly, on the Mace Jackson show?
Good morning, Mace. Good morning, Dr. Wilson. This is Cassandra Matz.
What's up, Cassandra?
Dr. Wilson, thank you. Everything's all good. Dr. Wilson, I had the pleasure of discovering you back in 2018 when I advocated for black contractors, when Governor Rauner put you as chair of the Fair Practices in Contracting Task Force. I sat in that audience. It was packed. Everybody was there to look to see how they can do business with Illinois. You stood up and you told everybody in that room, if you are not here to hear about how black people are going to get contracts, then you might as well leave right now. I have been a fan ever since you said that. I was amazed. And the thing about that is that when Governor Pritzker came in at sunset, he never recharged that commission. You were getting headway. I mean, everybody who had government contracts was bringing their reports to you, and you were demanding that they do something different. And for Governor Pritzker not to start that commission up is a travesty. How would you start a commission like that for when you become mayor? Because there's the same thing is happening in Chicago. Thank you.
I would start it back up, make sure that we got the equal opportunity there for contract and job. When we did that whole situation, the governor would not even bring that up to the for discussion. The present governor now. I also took an extra step and went to the Speaker of the House, which is now the Speaker of the House, and talked to him, call him at least 2 or 3 times. I cannot get a return phone call from him. So I wanted to talk with him because I wasn't getting nowhere with the governor. So the Speaker of the House, which is an African American, made several attempts and sent word. I've called him person, text him person about 4 or 5 times. He won't even return a call to do that. So
yeah, and I'm gonna just tell y'all the African American Commission, the council that he's talking about actually had the power to block contracts if they were cutting black people out.
Yeah.
And Dr. Wilson actually during that tenure was blocking major white corporations who were figuring out ways to cut black people out. It's sometimes it's be the things that if you didn't know, you won't know. Look, caller, I know everybody wants to show him some love. Say, if you like Dr. Wilson, say you like him and then give me the question because I got to get through these. Call, it's the Mace Jackson Show.
I don't have a question. My name Ruby Somerville. Hi, name Brother Mace.
Hey.
Hi, Dr. Reverend Wilson.
Hi.
I look at your show every Sunday morning.
Thank
and
you.
I enjoy it. You're doing a good job. I went in line for no gas because I'm 72 years old. And I can't sit that long, but you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
And what God laid on your mind and heart to do, keep up the good work. You got my vote for mayor, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
God bless you and your family.
I thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Have
you.
a blessed.
Thank you. Can I point out something to my younger people also? Yeah. This is a game of addition, not subtraction. It's a game of addition and multiplication. And as you recognize that there are people that are Dr. Willie Wilson fans or supporters, the more you attack him, the more you put yourself backwards. Why you recognize it or not, I know the young people feel like they want to take over the world, but the reason that you wind up not being able to take it over is because it's really the seniors that vote, right? And so all the social media and all the stuff that you do, the seniors that vote, which is why you talking about 50,000 votes being wasted, right? I would be figuring out how do I build a relationship that I could pick up those 50,000 votes. I just think it's like we have learned political warfare against each other as compared to going outward. I would say, like we don't got no, the mayor's race is 11 months away. We got a lot of other things we got to do before we get to the mayor's race. And instead of like it being about why didn't you do this for me or whoever, my premise would be like, we don't even talk to each other. Like, y'all, we don't even convene. So it's like we have a conversation like this, and now everybody about to go to war with the black people because this black person didn't. And we don't even we don't even convene to talk. So it's like we get mad because somebody did something that we don't even have no dialogue with, y'all. It's like I've been telling y'all, we have to have a table or something so that at least we can understand who everybody is. Because it's like everybody got different goals, and then people be picking which goals you supposed to be following. That's that whole we don't have a code, right? And family, J Mall, I literally asked every question that you gave me in these texts. I didn't say them the exact same way that you wrote them because I went to Bolingbrook and, we kind of, not the CPS. I'm going to stop. I don't even go there. I hate that our mobilization usually comes around being against somebody black. Like, it is so many people, and I'm really trying to get through this because I'm under attack right now. And it's like the same people, they will use these same things to turn us against each other when we all trying to get somewhere. That's all I got to say. Carla, you on the Mace Jackson Show. Keep it quick because I got soliloquies to do my damn self. What's up, Carla?
Hey, good morning, Mace.
What up, James?
Dr. Wilson.
Morning.
Mace, I just want to say this. Brother Tyrone Muhammad is necessary. Dr. Willie Wilson is necessary. Mace Jackson, you are necessary. I feel like I'm not hearing enough when it comes to our youth, and they are necessary to move our community forward. And when I say that to say this, Mace, I wish you could broker a sit down between Dr. Willie Wilson and Brother Muhammad. Because, like I said, we fighting from all fronts. And we all need to be at that table strategizing. So, with that, please, Brother Mays, if you could broker a sit down, because that Brother Muhammad and what he's doing with our community, with our youth, he's necessary.
100% agree.
A brother like Dr. Wilson is necessary. So I just wish you could broker that so them brothers could sit down and we could move our community forward, because there is no community without our youth. And thank you, Dr. Wilson, for all the work you have done.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks, James Big Slim. Come on, caller. You on the Mace Jackson Show. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Hey, Mace, this Deacon Quarles. Hey, Doc.
Hey, Deacon Quarles. We can't do a survival moment right now. You got to just talk to the doctor. I'm sorry.
No, I know. No. Look, two things. One question for Dr. Wilson is, is he planning on, or is it possible that he can hold those pastors' feet to the fire to support him or no? I know he probably would still do for him, but I would like to see some tangible, out front support of Dr. Wilson from those pastors that he's generously donated to in the city. Question one. Question two, do you think you can support Richard Irvin for governor? I don't know if you mentioned that before. Now I'm coming in late, but that's my two questions. That's all I got, man. Apologies.
All right, go ahead, Doctor. He said, someone, can you hold the preacher's feet to the fire? Because you know they all listen to you, Doc. So can you hold them responsible? Because a lot of times these preachers go out the door and make a deal with the politicians. And the second thing is, do you believe that you can support Richard Irvin?
Well, no, I cannot pretty much hold anybody's feet to the fire, because we have different makeup, different DNA, and different reason. So I just do good and will continue to do good. Regardless of whether you do me bad or not, I'm going to still do good and stay focused that way.
Okay.
Right? The other one, in terms of Richard Irvin, I happen to know him from way back, from a while back. I have not made a decision yet. We talked a couple times before when he first made a decision, and so I will wait until we get down in the future whether or not that conversation is going to go anywhere further from there. And we haven't agreed on, I'm sure, some of the things, but we'll see how that goes. We're undecided right now because of the fact that we haven't finished the conversation yet. You know.
Okay. Let's go to the live line. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show. Keep it quick. Caller? Caller?
Yes. Yes, Dr. Willie Wilson. I love you. You're beautiful and stuff. I'd like to ask you one particular question about undocumented immigrants. And yes or no answer. Do you support undocumented immigrants?
And support them in which way?
In terms of voting.
He answered that, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Stop. Go ahead, caller. Hang up. Thank you, caller. Go ahead. Re-answer.
No, I think you have to go through the process like black people go through and other brown people, everybody else, white, black, brown, yellow, have to go through that process. There's a system and laws in place that you have to go through. I would follow the laws and things related to that.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. We got two more callers. Call you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Good morning. This is Diane Wilson Body. Hi, good morning, Mace. Good morning, Dr. Wilson.
Good morning.
I echo James. I've been holding on to say the very same thing that James said. Brother Muhammad seems to be a very passionate young man, and I understand that. I have kids that grew up in the city of Chicago. It wasn't always good. But if Brother Muhammad would talk to you with his passion, he seems to tend to holler. But Mays, if you could, Dr. Wilson, if you would, sit down with this young man and talk to him. We know it is very, very necessary for our youth to be able to be led in a different direction that they're going. And I really believe that you hold a lot of keys, a lot of answers, working with Tyrone to be able to change the direction. So if you would very much consider if Mays would sit down with you and Tyrone, would you consider that? Would you please consider that? And I'm speaking as a grandparent. I don't live in Chicago right now, but I'm not far from it. But I know how it can be for our young children, and it's necessary for our Black people to continue to live, and it's in our youth. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Wilson. I'll let you respond.
No, I don't have. I just put it this way. It ain't gonna happen right now. I got a lot of things that we're dealing with right now, my own self. But right now, it ain't gonna happen. Not right now. That's all I can say. It ain't gonna happen.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna let that be. Caller, it's the Mace Jackson Show. You got the last one. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Good morning, Mace. Good morning, Dr. Wilson. I would like for Dr. Wilson to consider reading a book. It's called Chicago Isn't Broke by activist Tom Tresser, Tresser. The book basically kind of lays out where the bones and the carcasses lie in terms of money. And he is of the mind that you do not need to raise taxes in Chicago. He goes to the neighborhoods wherever he's asked to go to explain the TIF and all of the financial issues that Chicago has. He has mapped it out in this book. And I think it would be a great tool to use for strategies once he becomes mayor. So again, Chicago Isn't Broke. We all could benefit from reading that by Tom Tresser.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll have to take a look at it and see it. But thank you very much.
All right, there's the last caller. All right, I want to read something to y'all that was sent to me yesterday before we get off the air. And I want to be clear, Dr. Wilson, we still got a lot more people getting the race, so we still undecided. But will you come talk to the Black People First Party and try and get their support?
Look, I'm in the Black community every week.
Right. But we want you to come stop by and talk. We got a political organization.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, we got a full-fledged, but we got I know you have been very helpful to President Steele, but we got 13,000 signatures during this last go-round because we have decided that we are not going to just accept it anymore. We go to the Democrats, and they tell us that we got to be second place in their party. We go to the Republicans, they tell us we got to be second place. So we have created our own place called the Black People First Party. We meet at the same place that I'm going to be asking you to do that performance at, because I'm going to tell you, You get that group going,
Yeah.
they gone. They out the door. And they Green Berets, they political Green Berets. I've been training them, Dr. Wilson.
Okay.
And so they sending me like, Maze, you can't smile at Dr. Wilson no more. And now that he on the battlefield, we got to see where he at. Now you already halfway there with the no voting for the undocumented immigrants, but we still got some questions we got for you, Dr. Wilson. You willing to answer our questions?
Listen, one thing about me, Brother Jackson, this much, I don't owe anybody anything.
I heard
human
that.
being. All right. Nobody have given me nothing. I worked for it. All right. I'm not beholden to anybody, black, white, Latina, nobody. I'm going to continue to do good to our people and fight for it. I'm going to continue to get 100% of my money away, whether you like me or not. All right. And so I come to the table will sacrifice myself to give, to help. Those who like to help, great. Those who don't want to help, then ain't nothing I can do. Because, first of all, Jesus couldn't help them all because they wouldn't listen to him, all right? And they ain't going to listen to me, all right? But I will come. If I'm invited to come, I will come. I just ask one thing, making sure that the people who come are professional and polite and courteous.
Yep. Oh, that wasn't for the. What's in it for the black people?
Yeah.
Black people first. That's what we do. We're a political operation.
Right.
Like
right.
We take this is about transactions.
Yeah,
This is about what is going to be best. One, we protect our people. Then we protect our organization. Then we protect our people. Then we get wide and we get the circles. So, Dr. Wilson, we got chapters all around the city. We already got 4 chapters. 4 chapters. We going downstate too. Now I know you ain't worried about that, but we gonna do our thing. Next time you want to start a political party, we need to talk. All right, let me just read this email to y'all because I think it's important for y'all to read it. This came out from Lori Lightfoot for Chicago, and it went to Chicago Alderman yesterday. This did not come from Alderman Burnett, by the way, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. We've been alerted to a new opponent who has announced their campaign for mayor of Chicago with the intention of pouring a staggering $5 million into their own campaign fund. This person also has a long track record of supporting far-right Republicans like Donald Trump and Bruce Rauner, who have brought serious harm to our communities. If we're going to keep Chicago out of his hands, we'll need to mount an unstoppable grassroots campaign. Will you chip in $5, $25, or $50 right now to help us defend the city we love? Just this morning, the same person refused to affirm that the 2020 election was fair. In addition to being adamantly anti-union and an ardent champion of so-called right-to-work policies, this candidate would rather gut the labor movement than work on solutions that put working people first. While Mayor Lightfoot is focused on keeping our streets and communities safe while pushing historic levels of economic investment in the South and West Sides and creating jobs and opportunities for all Chicagoans, this candidate is working to undo it all. We still have a long road. That's why we're asking you to stand in solidarity with Mayor Lightfoot chipping in today, because it's going to take all of us working together to keep this city in the hands of someone who will defend and invest in our communities. That came out yesterday from the Lightfoot campaign in response to your announcement.
Well, let me put it this way. When you talk about union and things of that nature, if I dislike union, why did I give over $10 or $15 million in face masks to the police union, the fire union, the CTA union, the post office union, along with help giving also the ones she laid off in terms of not having vaccine. Those families out there gave with hundreds of thousands of dollars to them so that they can still have food on the table. Well, how that make sense?
Okay.
She wouldn't give people face masks, couldn't get them. I went out there and gave them away free.
It was funny. She sent this to the alderman, and I remember when you gave out every alderman, was it like 10,000 face masks?
20,000 apiece.
20,000. They all came and got the mask, and then she came right behind you and handed out 5. She handed out the old underwear mask. Remember, she was making the mask out of underwear and gave everybody and said, "Don't worry about him." Remember, they was trying to discredit. Remember, I just be thinking about how hard they work to make you a bad guy. Dr. Wilson, I gotta ask. We talked about this last week. Your name is Willie. I call you Dr. Big Willie. Last week you said, let me ask a question. I see you got 6.25 million. Do you think that makes you had a big Willie? Or how much money are you willing to spend to prove that you got the bigger Willie than the mayor?
Well, I don't want to know where she buy hers from, you know. Well,
she not the dollar store.
All right. Well, let me say this for sure. We are going to spend enough to make sure that we win this race. I don't like the idea that we haven't talked about this either. I do not like the idea, and I resent the fact that she came into our church to shut our churches down. Okay. That just get under my nerves.
Let me ask you though, what she be playing the church role, and then she be running around talking about she got the biggest Dr. Wilson. Do you think she's an example for our youth?
No. Mayor Lightfoot is not an example for our youth and no one else. Every decision she make, if something don't go her way, she get mad. The people in city council can't work with her. Her staff, everything is threat. One thing about it is she ain't got nothing to give me, you know. This lady,
she want to give you some of that,
and I say that too, Mel. And I said it on air, and I said it before. This lady got a mentally ill problem.
Wait, did you call the mayor mentally ill?
I do indeed. She got a mentally ill problem. Who would go around and do the thing to her thing is bigger than she got the biggest thing in town? Who would do that? Who would not support equal opportunities and things of that nature? Who would even do something like that? Who would close the churches down because of the COVID-19 when you don't close the marijuana house down?
Hey man, people had to get high. Hey man, we needed to high. My cousin needed to get high to get through the pandemic, man. They was trying to get high. See, let me stop. I'm gonna stop. I had some more, but because you're a man of God. Now, Dr. Wilson, this was our introductory interview, right? You was in the Lions Den. I'm gonna tell my dear friend Jamal Green that I asked all of his questions. I just asked them in a more polite manner than the way you wrote them, right? I heard you say that I was trying to broker a situation. I'm gonna say one of the things that has to happen, guys, is like one time, like it's hard to get whooped by certain people and then like call it all off. And I think there's healing that has to happen, and there has to be demonstrations. And all I'm gonna say is over the course of this time, I hope that I have the opportunity to try to stitch some of this stuff together, because y'all, we all got to be going in the same direction. It don't mean that Dr. Wilson ain't the endorsed candidate as of yet, right? We got to figure all of that out. There's more people to get in the race, but we got to figure out a way how we cannot gut our own people. Like, it's so many people to gut. Let's just not gut our own people. I just want y'all to look at the paper today. While we talking about, it says on the front of, not the paper, because this is Cranes. This is where they do the business. Oh, they did me too. He's the man who would be king of weed. Right? This white dude, in the course of the time that we've had this conversation, in the course of the time that we're going to be talking about over this time, cannabis has become legal. And now he is about to do a $2 billion acquisition. We got bigger issues than Dr. Wilson, right? That we as black people need to be focused on. So I'm going to just say, this makes me say, how crazy is this? Dr. Wilson, what you got to say to people? Hey, y'all, I'm going to just tell y'all we going long. Riis, you got somewhere to be right after this? You got to be. So we're going to be going a little bit long because I got to cover this BGA story because Dr. Wilson, they niggerized me in the story today. They took me from being a respected, low-paid lobbyist to reducing me to a nigga in a sweatshirt in the paper. And it's all because I wouldn't allow some white people to tell me to do what to do with my own power. I ain't had no money. And now they trying to stop me from getting money. By the people who took the chance on me when the whole world was against me. I had to find somebody from Canada to help me stay in the game. And now they want to turn it into the niggerization, like two black, So we're going to talk about this when we come back. I was feeling a certain kind of way today. Dr. Wilson, I'm glad you stopped in because you really took my mind off a lot of stuff. I was feeling a certain way. But as soon as I get through with this, I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to address it. So we're going to stay a little bit late. So we're going to give them something to listen to. But Dr. Wilson, give us a good close before you get out of here, man.
Well, look.
Look at that camera right there, too.
Well, look, we're running for mayor of Chicago. I'm not taking a paycheck. The check they give to me, I'll give it away to the community. So Chicago get me free. My family and I give away 100% of all the money that we make, and we will continue to do that as well. We respect all citizens of Chicago, whether you, what color you are, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we ought to make sure that we don't leave people behind as it relates to contracts and jobs and things of that nature. We got the casino coming up. We got to make sure that that's balanced off as well. But not only that, the whole city's been billions of dollars. What have we gotten out of it? We got to balance things out. We'll come and talk to the group that Brother Mace Jackson want me to come and talk to, as long as we're respectful and things of that nature. And some of the young people, let me make this clear too. Some of the young people and not so young people, as you take and relate to people who is old enough to be your father, your grandfather, we were raised to respect our elder, all right? And if we didn't respect our elder, we'll get a whooping. You're just plain on that way, all right? Elder always directed us from down south. We'll keep our mouths shut before we disrespect our elder. I think our young people need to take and learn that, respect your elder, and then you'll get far more in life because they've been through things that you have not been through. But later on, you'll learn those particular things. And I don't get in conversation with young people that is going to be negative. I've raised my kids already, all right? And so we've tried it now. Everybody in the whole world that want to accept the things that we do and give out here, whether you young, old, in between, whatever it may be, it will and always will be my responsibility and my DNA to reach out and help. Doesn't matter how much, how hard that you would try and discourage people. I say get out and vote. Register to vote. Whether you vote for me or not, vote for somebody because it's you guys' future. And so I can't take all your calls. Some of y'all call me all the time. A lot of people call me, but I just cannot do it. We got $5 million on the line to help the citizens of Chicago, and we're going to win this race. So we hope that you will join with us. Thank you, and I want to thank Brother Mayor Jackson. And I want to say this, too. I want you to consider voting for Commissioner Steele for the assessment office. She deserves it. She's smart. She's wise. She's an African-American female who got a lot out here to offer to its citizen. Please consider voting for her, Commissioner Steele. And my other opponent would be, please consider voting for Attorney Richard Boykin for Cook County President. Those two people I support strongly. Those two people, we will put our dollars behind, we'll put our help behind, and I'll ask our churches and our senior citizens too. And senior citizens, remember this here. I'm one of you, and I will continue to be one of you. And I will continue to be one of everybody out here that allowed me to do so. Thank you, and God bless you, and may He keep you in the palm of His hand, and may He teach us all to love one another, and may He teach us to try to follow His footstep. Amen.
Amen. That is the Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson here on the Maze Jackson Show. Dr. Wilson, we appreciate you. We appreciate the work that you do in the community. I know that what I've come to recognize in this game is that you're never going to please everybody.
All right.
And no matter what you do, somebody's going to find a way to critique it. You keep doing you the way you do you. I'm going to do me the way I do me. We're going to tell J Maul do him the way he do, Tyrone to do the way he do, and from Tyler and everybody else. But what we gonna have to figure out, and this is the thing that I know I don't want to invoke Abraham Lincoln, but one of the things that we're gonna have to figure out one day. If you read the book Team of Rivals, right? It's a long book, right? I know y'all want to read the Tom Tresser book because that's sexy, but the Team of Rivals was Abraham Lincoln, in the most divisive time in the country, assembled all of the people that did not like him to be his advisors, right? And they came up with the premise of everybody pissing out of the tent instead of in the tent. And that is what I hope at some point we can learn, right? That even if you ain't on the same agreement, that we recognize that the tent, that if we all pulling our big willies out, that we be aiming them out the tent instead of putting it in the tent that we got to walk through. Because when you pee inside the tent, then we all got to stomp through it. So that's all I got to say on that.
Well, let me tell you what. There's two sides to every story.
Get the mic real quick.
It's two sides to every story. There's a side over here that other people don't know about it.
And so can I do this? And I believe you. And that's why we got to have a way to talk. We have to have a way, because it seems like it forces everybody else to pick a side. And we all need to be on the same side. Dr. Wilson, let me tell you this. I tell people this all the time. My friends are my friends.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And all my friends don't get along.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But guess what? In the space, I ain't going to let nobody talk crazy about you, just like I ain't going to let nobody talk crazy about them.
Yeah.
Right? And I do recognize, because I've been on the receiving end, family members, of the wrath of people because of something somebody else told, and then we sat down and we found out that we had a lot in common. Right? Now, if I was to be the jackass and not ever be forgiving or say like, man, it's more important that me and you, brother, are together. Right? And that's one of the things that Tamiko, that's why people said Mays and Mark Carter would never talk again. Right? It's like, we got to figure out a way to be better together. And even until we all have an understanding, like, you can't really hold nobody to nothing, because we ain't set the rules of engagement, y'all. So let's figure that out. That's all that I would ask in this space, because I'm watching how hard we going in the thing. And the one thing I just want the young people to understand is, and Dr. Wilson got it, and why you upset about he took the 50,000 votes or whatever it is you're going to say, is because the votes don't reside with the young people as much as y'all want to believe it. The votes reside with the lady who called in. And as you are talking crazy about Dr. Wilson, you're only driving those seniors back to him. Right? Like, I understand that the social media got everybody feeling like the young people with the biggest voice are the ones that's going to get the vote. I'm just telling you, I still have yet to see the young people turn out to vote. And so when you looked up and you saw that in the city of Chicago, Dr. Wilson had won every black ward.
Yeah.
That was a result of understanding who the actual voter is and doing them. And y'all can be smart. I'm just telling you, I've done politics my whole entire life. Well, according to these people, only until I found out I was a criminal. Anyway, we're going to talk about that next when we come back. Dr. Wilson, thank you for stopping by. I know it's two sides to every story. We going to talk about them in private, not in public, and we're going to get us together. But I understand. I've been there. I done got whooped on. I done been a sellout. I done been everything else what I wasn't supposed to do. And eventually people learn that you really are for your people, and you take the L for it. And Dr. Wilson, I have no question that you are for your people. And man, you have a right to dreams and aspirations, just like everybody, just like you young brothers have rights to dreams and aspirations. There's no time. Should I stop dreaming? Should I stop having aspirations because I'm 50 and I got some gray hair now? Hey, man, you get out there and work. You meet us on Saturdays. You read the commercial. Riis play the commercial, because if they come to the commercial, don't we tell them how they could even be able to win the mayor, become the mayor? Right? So join the Black People First Party. It's the Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back, and then I'm going to break these. Why? When you tick off what hell hath no fury like a scorned white woman, especially when it's a black man that, well, since we talking about the mayor stuff, I'm going to let that be. But we going to back.
Mays Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Mays Jackson.
What's up, Chicago? This is your man, Maze Jackson, host of The Maze Jackson Show. You hear me every single day ask the question, what's in it for the black people? Well, finally, y'all, we've got an answer, and it's called the Black People First Party. Meet us every second Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth